Alright, so today we are going to be replacing a lot on this 2006 Ford Explorer. We're going to be doing lower and upper control arm, the whole tie rod and tie rod end, and also the sway bar end link, along with an entirely new strut on the passenger side of this Ford Explorer. As you can see, it has a few miles on it, and it's time to be replaced. The first step is jack this baby up. Right here is a great place to jack, and we got jack stands along the frame on both sides, and an extra little jack stand down there just in case. Next, you're going to want to take the tire off, and we already have these bolts loose. So now that we have the wheel off, we went ahead and we sprayed all the nuts that we know we're going to be hitting with penetrating oil, and there's some on the back side of the brake here that will also have to be removed to take the brake off. And then we can also take this out of the way right away. This just kind of snaps out because we're going to need to get behind here. Alright, so since we're going to be replacing just about everything that's under here, what we're going to want to do is start by taking this brake off, and we'll end up tying it up probably somewhere up here just for now so it's out of the way. And then we'll take the whole rotor off. So to take the brake caliper off, got to hit a couple bolts. There's one right here, and then there's one below it on the other side. So two main bolts to take off there. And then once we get to the rotor, it'll be this big one in the middle. Here's where these two bolts are for the rotor. They were a pain to get loose. It helps if you turn the wheel of the car so you can give yourself a little bit more room to work with. And we'll go ahead, save those, keep them off to the side. You might have to loosen up your brake pads somehow. Ours looks like they're coming off just fine. And we're going to want to just hang this up out of the way somewhere. Alright, brake caliper's out of the way. And next we're just going to take this strut bolt out. And here's our big strut bolt. So next we're going to take this bolt out at the bottom of the control arm. So on these lower ball joints, a lot of times there will be a cotter pin. If it's an older vehicle, the ends of the cotter pin will be rotted off, and there'll just be a chunk of rusty old metal in there, and that's the case here. Under here, after you get that lower ball joint bolt off, you can work on these. And what's important to keep in mind here before you get this far is the way this is aligned right there. You see how I marked this with Sharpie? It's because this has to be right here, because this is how they align it. Because this can be pushed back a little further or pulled forward. So mark where that is, so you can put it back there. So after you got them off on that side, we'll go over to the other side, and this is just one giant through bolt here. This is a 31mm nut. It matches the nut that holds the rotor into place. And so we'll go ahead and just work on that side. It's the only side you need to worry about. And then here's the other side of that through bolt. So you don't need to worry about this side. Just get it loose from this side. So this through bolt, yank it out. Here's the bolt and the nut that came with. And we went ahead and put the other nut just finger tight over there so this doesn't drop on your face. You see how that's kind of hanging on there? Safety. And then this is already loose. You can see it beginning to line up. And now here is when we'll kind of shake things loose on both those ends. And then we'll take this off again. And then we'll try to find the right angle to pop this lower control arm out of here. So to better get this control arm to pop out of the bottom here, we're going to take the rotor out of the way. And here's what we're working on. Then to get a better angle to get that lower control arm out, we're going to need more flexibility here. So we're going to take this bolt off, disconnecting it from the upper control arm so we can wiggle on things more. And after a little hammering, it'll pop loose. So what we did, a lot of things, is we disconnected everything from this. Alright, we popped the CV axle out. We have that top part disconnected and the tie rods disconnected. And now we have lots of flexibility to get this lower control arm detached from here. So now we're going to try to wiggle and do that. Alright, so we're going to be installing the new upper control arm. We have this corner dropped in and kind of just shoved that one back there. And then we're going to wiggle this corner in. Alright, and then it dropped into place. Now keep in mind you're going to have these. And these are just going to slide up, and then these hooks are going to hook into holes. So the hooks should be facing this way. We already have one in over here. And then this will just slide up onto that bolt, and the hooks will go in the holes. Alright, so since we're using the old nuts here, we're going to put some thread locker onto the bolts. So we have one up in here. This shit's fucked. So we're just going to put a little bit on each of these. Alright, now we're going to torque this to 110, 111. So once your upper control arm is done, it should be parallel, so it'll look like it's on a little bit of an angle, but that's actually sitting flush. And make sure those little washer type things we put in are still there. And you don't have to have everything out. Again, we are replacing everything on this car, which is why everything's out of the way, but you can do this with everything still intact, because you only have to get to these bolts and disconnect it here. So we're going to be installing the new lower control arm. Now if you have your strut hanging here, that's totally fine. You can push the bottom of the strut through this hole and still push it up where it needs to be just fine. However, we're replacing the strut, so we took it out of the way anyways. So we're going to pick this up. This end's going to line up here, and this big through bolt's going to slide all the way through. And then we'll put the bolt at the end. Actually, I think... And then we'll pick up this side, and it'll go in 2 bolts that kind of look like this, hanging up here. Alright, so before you get your bolts tightened all the way, make sure you have it lined back up to where it was before. And we put a Sharpie line that was just shy of where the metal ended, because the Sharpie tip couldn't get all the way there. So that looks right for us. You can adjust that by this piece in the back here. If I can get to it. This piece right here will adjust that. Make sure that's in this groove when you reinstall it. And then you can go ahead and tighten up all your bolts and torque them to 110. So we're installing the new strut. What you have to do is drop the end into this hole, kind of sideways, twist it and then drop it lower, and then you'll be able to wiggle the top into there. It goes in really easily. Now the only hard part is you have to get these screws or these nuts started on the top of there. You see I have them just started. We'll get those so it's just hanging in here. Then we'll try to lift the strut up itself a little bit higher into this hole so we can put the strut bolt through the side here. So we got the strut bolt halfway through, which pushed this up further, and now we can drop a big extension socket wrench from the top all the way down to get that back one. And then these front two here I'm able to reach with an box end wrench from the outside here. Alright, so we were able to get this bottom bolt all the way through. We had to loosen up the lower control arm a little bit, wiggle and push and pry, and we were able to get it to go through. And now we can go ahead and retighten up the lower control arm. We will reinstall this bolt and we'll start putting things back together. Now finishing up the lower control arm, we have this big through bolt back here. Now this is supposed to be torqued to 257 foot-pounds. No one has a torque wrench that goes up to that far, so we're going to go and get started with the impact wrench.
Not no one. We don't have one.
No one has one.
They make them.
So finishing up the lower control arm again, we are going to be jacking up just to put a little pressure on this lower control arm as if there's a little bit of weight riding on the vehicle. We're going to apply some red thread locker to the end of this bolt as it comes through a little bit, and then this strut bolt on the bottom here will be pushed through and then torqued to 258 foot-pounds if you have that capability. Alright, so we're going to be installing the new sway bar end link. So we took apart what it came as and put it in order in the way we have to put things back on. So we're going to start by dropping this in the top, and then we're going to have this piece, and the shaft go on right away. So we got that rubber piece, this washer, and the shaft. I'm going to pull this down a little bit so I can lift it up, and then we'll push it back through here a little bit. And what goes on this side will be another washer and another rubber piece. So just make sure you're kind of assembling it into the car.
Beton.
So with the lower control arm, once you get that CV axle joint to pop through a little bit, go ahead and start the nut. Once you get it to pop through on the bottom, start that nut too. It took a lot of pounding and jacking up on things to get these two things to go in at the same time. But we did get it. Go ahead and torque the bottom one to 129 foot-pounds. Once the upper control arm's all the way installed, this bolt is tightened to 41 foot-pounds. And then this last bolt on the tie rod will get torqued to 52 foot-pounds.
Okay.
Alright, so once you have all this main piece back in place, you can throw the rotor on and reinstall the brake pads. Now the brake caliper, the bolts here, there's the two of them we took off. Go ahead and torque those to 90 foot-pounds.